If you've seen the movie The Soloist, you know the bittersweet story about a homeless musician befriended by a newspaperman. Nathaniel Ayers received formal training at the finest music conservatory in the country, but then fell victim to mental illness and homelessness. LA Times columnist Steve Lopez first brought his story to the world, so we asked Steve to tell us what Mr. Ayers is doing now.
It's a rainy LA afternoon in early January. The city is a different place in the rain, streaming gutters rather than streaming sunlight. It's gray and flat. No one lingers outside. A good day to be indoors, making music. That's composer Ernest Bloch you're listening to, the Bloch Prayer. The pianist, Joanne Pierce Martin, principal pianist for the Los Angeles Philharmonic. The cellist, that's my buddy, Nathaniel Anthony Ayers. I can't believe it's been 5 years since we met. He was living on the streets of Skid Row, playing a battered violin that was missing 2 strings. It had been 35 years since he left the prestigious Juilliard School for the Performing Arts after a mental breakdown. I began writing columns about Mr. Ayers, and then my book was turned into a movie. There's my guy. People ask what the soloist is up to now. Do I still see him? Is he still living in the apartment? Is he still playing music? The answer to all 3 is yes. And today, I'm packing Mr. Ayers, his violin, bass, cello, flute, guitar, and trumpet into my car. We're headed to a Silver Lake studio to record his first CD. It's anybody's guess how this will go.
I didn't know what life was like until I tested my trumpet this morning. It was a totally different ball game when I actually could hear.
You played trumpet today?
Yeah, I in my mirror.
Things can be a bit unpredictable with Mr. Ayers, a generally humble, gentle soul who has resisted medication for decades. He can slip into dark states with no warning and go sideways now and then. But music clearly helps him find his way. It's medicine to him, and his musician friends might as well be his doctors.
Hey, have you ever heard of this musician called Moondog?
There's Flea of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He's been emailing me for several years, telling me if there was ever a chance, he'd like to play with Mr. Ayers. And that's Joe Russo, Mr. Ayers' former Juilliard classmate and longtime pal, who flew in from Connecticut for this session. I suppose I should point out that there have been no rehearsals for this jam. It's a freewheeling musical journey for all the players. So nobody expects this to be a polished recording by any stretch. Despite toting 6 instruments everywhere he goes, Mr. Ayers' only formal training was on bass. But we know we can always count on him to play with passion and with soul. Well, Flea just had to leave for another recording session, but it's no problem. One of the brightest young stars of the Los Angeles Philharmonic has just arrived, violinist Robert Gupta.
This isn't that hard. Come on, you can play this. I would much rather play with you. Come on, let's play.
You can improvise.
Where's your violin case? I'll take it out for you.
Oh, I'll take it out.
Mr. Gupta happens to be an irresistible force with a great knack for motivating Mr. Ayers. A natural teacher, he doesn't take no for an answer. And Mr. Ayers often finds that he can't resist the challenge.
I like your fingering, Mr. Ayers. Let's do it again. Actually, let's play.
Well, not the second movement. I'm not familiar with that at all.
We'll do it together. It's easy. So we start with an open D.
The recording session, well, that can wait. the master and the student have some business first.
Use the third finger.
Both finger.
So,
Mr. Gupta explained to me what goes through his head when he watches Mr. Ayers play.
what I notice in him when we play together is a sort of different glint in his eyes. There's a different character. It's the student at Juilliard, the really brilliant, talented, quick student. That hasn't gone away. What comes next?
Yum-dum.
And the way to bring that out is to get him playing. That's why I drive him. I mean, just to get the violin out of the case. Just get it up, tune it up, let's start playing. It gives him focus, it gives him a way to express himself. He's dealing with, all of these vicious things in his imagination. And music is a way for him to make his visceral imagination real.
And what exactly is the point of all this, you ask? Last summer, Mr. Ayers and I drove to San Francisco, where he received a prestigious award from the National Alliance on Mental Illness for helping to destigmatize the disease and humanize the millions who fight it daily. On the drive back home, he said he wanted to record a CD, and somewhere around Bakersfield, we decided to call the CD Putting On Ayers. When it's produced, you'll be able to find it at the nonprofit Nathaniel Anthony Ayers Foundation. Proceeds will fund arts programs at mental health agencies nationwide. It's been a pretty successful day of musical collaboration for Mr. Ayers and his friends. As always, he's sorry to see them go. But as long as the soloist has his music, he's never alone. I'm Steve Lopez for SoCal Connected.